Shalom, Israel, shalom. It's your brother Joshua back with another quick coffee break and a quick exhortation for the brothers and sisters, right? And I wanted to do a quick tutorial, right, on how to learn the Bible, right? A lot of our people struggle with the understanding of the Bible, right? So we want to jump right into it, okay? So first and foremost, to understand the Bible, you must be taught first, right? You must be taught by a learned man or woman, right? You have to be taught the Bible first and foremost, right? And you have to receive it with an open mind, your open heart. You have to receive the scriptures and listen to what they're saying, right? So I'm gonna get this precept real quick in the book of Acts, right? Chapter 8 and verse number, I'm gonna start at verse number 28. I'll just read from 28. And it reads, I'll get to the point, right? I'll start at verse 30. It says, and Philip ran thither to him and heard him read the prophet Isaiah and said, understandest thou what thou readest? And he said, how can I except some man should guide me? And he desired Philip that he would come up and sit with him, right? So the only way you're going to really understand the scriptures, right, just diving into it from the beginning, you have to have somebody teach you the scriptures first, right? And secondly, you must read. You must read the scriptures, right? You can't understand anything unless you read the scriptures, right? So let's get another precept on that. Let's go to the book of Revelation, right? Let's get there real quick, right? This is the book of Revelation, chapter 1 and verse 3. And it reads, blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand. So the Lord said, blessed is he that reads. You have to read the scriptures in order to know what the scriptures are talking about. And it also says, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, right? So that goes back to Acts chapter 8 and verse 30. You have to hear someone teach you the scriptures, right? And follow along to get the understanding. And it also says to keep those things which are written therein. So you have to keep the things that are written in the scriptures to get the understanding. And what is that talking about? It's talking about keeping the commandments of the Bible, man. Keeping the commandments of God. That's how you get the understanding of the scriptures, right? So let's prove that. That's how you receive the Spirit, man. The Spirit comes and sups with you and teaches you all things. That's what the Holy Spirit is, man. Right? So check it out. This is the book of Psalms, right? Chapter 111 and verse number 10. And it reads, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. His praise endureth forever. So just like Revelation 1 and 3 says, you're blessed when you read, when you hear the words of the prophecy, and you do what's written therein. So you have to be keeping the commandments in order to receive the understanding. So it says the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments, right? So that's how you get the proper understanding of the Bible. You have to be doing the commandments that are written in the Bible. It says doing the things that are written in, right? So if you are reading and doing the scriptures, that's how you receive the Spirit. That's what the Spirit is. The Spirit is the words of this book. That's how you receive the Spirit, by reading and doing what is written therein, right? Let's get another precept on that real quick, right? This is the book, right, of John, chapter 6, right, and verse number 63. And it reads, "It is the Spirit that quickeneth, the flesh profiteth nothing. The words that I speak unto you, they are spirit and they are life." So the words that the Lord speaks unto you is the Spirit. And that's what quickens you, meaning to make you alive, give you the understanding, man. Right? That is the breath of life. Right? That wisdom, that knowledge, that understanding is the breath of life. Right? That's how you receive that wisdom, right? Let's matter of fact, let me see. Get a precept real quick. That's not what I want, but nevertheless, right? So let's get on with it, right? So reading, right, is the words of the book or the Spirit. So that's how you're quickened, right? Okay, so that's how you're working. So now we got to understand how to link up the scriptures in the Bible. And the Bible tells you that. So remember, you have to read in order to understand how to do these things, right? So let's go to the book of Isaiah real quick. Right? This is the book of Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 28 and verse number 9. Let's start there. And it reads, "Whom shall he teach knowledge? And whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast." Right? You have to be taught from the beginning, the basics, man. Right? The commandments, how to keep them. Right? Unlearning all those things that you've learned before, say in Christian church and all these other religions, right? And come back as a what? A newborn babe, being born again, right? Weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast, right? For precept must be upon precept. What is a precept? A precept is a command, right? So precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line. So sometimes to get the proper understanding, you can't just jump to a certain precept to get the understanding. You have to get the context and read the whole thing, right? And how better to understand the scriptures if you're not reading from the beginning, getting the history, right, and reading through. So sometimes you got to read through and get the context and all the precepts, right? And it says line upon line, right? Get it all. And then it says here a little and there a little, right? So we got to understand what here a little and there a little means, right? Because sometimes you can't just understand something that is in one chapter. You have to go to another place in the scriptures to get that proper understanding, right? So I'm going to get a quick example real quick, right? There's something in the scriptures. Let me get a quick example real quick. Let's go with Jacob's trouble, right? There's something in the scriptures called Jacob's trouble, right? You can't really get the understanding of what Jacob's trouble truly is unless you go through the precepts, right? So let's try to break it down real quick. Let's see. Let's go to Jeremiah real quick. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 30, right? And Jeremiah taps in a little bit on Jacob's trouble, right? He talks about it a little bit, right? Of what possibly what Jacob's trouble be, right? So this is Jeremiah 30, and I'm gonna start at verse 6 because I got it highlighted, right? Get to the point. It says, "Ask ye now and see whether a man do a travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. Is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it." So what is Jacob's trouble talking about? It's talking about a great time of destruction and persecution upon the men and the women of the Lord, right? The commandment keeping men and women of the Lord, man. That's what Jacob's trouble is. Jacob's what? Jacob's name was changed to Israel, and that's what's coming in the last days is the trouble upon Israel, right? So to get proper understanding, let's go to another prophet that is teaching a little bit on this, right? Let's go to the book. Right, let's go to the book of Daniel. He touches on it a little bit, right? Just a little bit. So remember, at the end of Jeremiah, it says he will be saved out of it. It's going to be a time of trouble, but he shall be saved out of it, right? So this is Daniel chapter 12, right? Now see, I got the precepts written out next to it. It's Daniel chapter 12 and verse 1. It says, "And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book." Right? You see that? So that's another precept upon precept to elaborate and give a little bit more context to Jacob's trouble. A time since there was never before, right? A time of trouble. But ye shall be saved out of it, man. Those that are written in the book, just like Jeremiah said, right? So let's go to get one more precept on that, man. Let's go to the Apocrypha. Let's go to Second Esdras, man. Right, this is Second Esdras chapter 16, and I really could read all this, but I'm gonna just jump on the persecution part, right? This is what Jacob's trouble is going into, right? Second Esdras 16 and verse number 70, and it reads, "For there shall be in every place and in the next city a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord." What is fearing the Lord? Keeping his commandments. "They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods, and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who is my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire." Right? "Hear, O ye my beloved, saith the Lord. Behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same." Right. You see that? So from Jeremiah to Daniel to Second Esdras, we can get the context of what Jacob's trouble is kind of going into, right? So remember, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little, right? So that's how you can get to understand the scriptures more, right? Because understanding that our forefathers never got the full revelation from the Most High. He gave certain prophets certain visions, and he elaborated with another prophet on that vision, and then another prophet elaborated on that vision that another prophet got, right? And that's how we get understanding in these last days, right? So let me get a precept real quick in 2 Peter, man. Right? Check this out. This is the book of 2 Peter, right? Chapter 1, and let's start at verse number 19, and it reads, "We have also a more sure word of prophecy, whereunto ye do well that ye take heed, as unto the light that shineth in a dark place, and to the day dawn, that the day star arise in your hearts." See that? So now we have a more sure word of prophecy now, due to going through the precepts of our ancient forefathers and understanding what they were talking about by reading what? Precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little, right? So that was a quick tutorial on how to learn and understand the scriptures. I hope it was edifying, right? But with that, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua, and say Kum Yasha'Allah, and Shalom, Israel.